Welcome to today's lecture on the evolution of development theories and their progression towards sustainable development. We'll be exploring key development models, the thinkers behind them, and why businesses, particularly in today's Anthropocene era, should embrace sustainability for long-term survival and growth. Modernization theory, popularized by Walt Rostow, saw development as a linear process that all nations must follow to achieve economic success. Rostow's stages of economic growth argued that societies evolve through 5 stages, culminating in high mass consumption. The theory became the backbone of Western aid strategies in the 1960s, particularly during the Cold War. It laid the groundwork for international aid programs aimed at improving infrastructure and industrialization in developing countries. However, it also promoted the idea that Western paths of development are universal. Critics like André Gunda Frank challenged this, arguing that it ignored the historical exploitation of developing nations through colonialism and the global inequalities that persist. Dependency theory emerged as a critique of modernization theory. Frank and others argued that underdevelopment was not a stage, but rather a consequence of exploitation by more developed nations. According to this theory, wealthier nations perpetuate the dependency of poorer ones through unfair trade practices and the control of global resources. Latin America in the 20th century serves as a case in point, where reliance on exporting raw materials to wealthy nations stunted industrial growth locally. Dependency theory drew attention to global inequalities and was influential in shaping policies of self-reliance in developing nations. However, it has been critiqued for offering few practical solutions beyond protectionism, which in itself may limit long-term growth. Neoliberalism, led by thinkers like Milton Friedman and Friedrich Hayek, advocated for free market policies with minimal government intervention. In the 1980s, neoliberal policies spurred economic growth in countries like Chile and the UK by opening markets to foreign investment and competition. This theory drove global trade and allowed businesses to thrive through deregulation, innovation, and globalization. However, it's been criticized for exacerbating income inequality and environmental degradation, as it places profit maximization above social welfare. For businesses today, while free markets remain crucial, they must now also account for social and environmental responsibilities. The neoliberal idea of profit above all is being challenged by the growing demand for sustainable practices. Enter sustainable development, championed by thinkers like Amartya Sen, who argued that development should be measured not just by economic growth, but by the well-being and freedoms of individuals. The concept was further institutionalized in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. This approach is holistic, balancing economic, social, and environmental goals. It's designed to meet the needs of the present without compromising future generations. However, the challenge lies in implementation, especially as businesses and governments may resist changes that affect short-term profits. Take Unilever, which integrated sustainability into its core business strategy. By focusing on water conservation, waste reduction, and fair trade, they not only cut costs, but also gained consumer trust and long-term viability. Today, businesses are at the forefront of global change. Failing to adopt sustainable practices risks falling behind in a rapidly shifting marketplace. From resource depletion to climate change, the risks are significant. Businesses that continue to operate without regard for environmental and social impact may face regulatory crackdowns, operational disruptions, and reputational damage. Businesses that proactively engage in sustainability are better positioned for long-term profitability. Patagonia and IKEA, for example, have embraced circular economy principles, reusing materials and designing products for longevity. These businesses are not just meeting today's consumer demands, but are also securing their future. By transforming their models, companies can reduce costs, foster innovation, and appeal to a growing base of eco-conscious consumers. We are now in the Anthropocene, an era defined by human impact on the planet. This has brought about critical changes: rising temperatures, resource depletion, and growing inequalities that force us to rethink development. Businesses today must adapt to the following challenges: climate change, resource scarcity, inequality, and stricter regulations. Adapting to these changes is not just about compliance, but about long-term survival. Leading the way are companies like Tesla, which have accelerated the shift toward renewable energy by disrupting the traditional automotive industry with electric vehicles. In conclusion, the evolution from modernization to sustainable development reflects the growing complexity of the global challenges we face today. For international businesses, adopting sustainable practices isn't just a moral imperative, it's a strategic necessity. The companies that succeed in this new era will be those that lead the charge towards sustainability, turning challenges into opportunities for growth and innovation.